Hello, and welcome. In today's videos, I'm going to be taking AI images and turning them into art, with the added twist of turning them into monsters from my comic. For context, in my comic, there is an ambient magical energy called soul that is exuded from all magical beings. This soul rises to the surface of the earth, where it wreaks havoc upon any humans that come into contact with it. This soul is affected both by the emotions of the person who exuded it and the emotions of the person who comes into contact with it. Think of this stuff as a combination between Akumas from Miraculous Ladybug and Mutagen from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. All that is to say, these AI images are in for a wild ride today. First up today, we have this image, which, even at a glance, is pretty scuffed. I made sure to pick some pretty bad AI images for this video just because it gave me more creative freedom, and I didn't want the machine to be better than me. But as you can see, just most of everything about this image doesn't make sense. All the little things behind him are just all so mushed together, it's like impossible to tell at all what's happening. There's a few shapes you can make out here and there, but also just like the pose in general is a little weird. Like when I started working on this, I was like, oh, I'll just use a similar pose, but then I realized I'm not quite sure what he's doing. His arms are like way shorter than they ought to be. Like his hands come up to like slightly below his waist. It's just all off, weird. So with all that being said, I decided to go in and make this image far weirder than it was before. At least I aim to. For me personally, other than like the ethical concerns, my biggest qualm with like AI art in general is just the lack of meaning behind it. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like, oh, hot anime girl, cute pose, cute outfit, whatever. It's just, in the end, it's just meaningless. And like some people, they just draw cutesy art or whatever, but like they have like some purpose behind it, you know? Like it has some story to them. Even if like it's just, its purpose is just, oh, I want followers or something. That's still like a human emotion put into it. So for each of these pieces I've done today, I've come up with a little story to make them have some purpose in existing. Now, I might need you to bear with me for this first one because the story is a little silly and convoluted, but I like silly and convoluted, so it's fine. For this first one, I was inspired by the little TV in the back, because what if TVs have glass? You know what else has glass? Claw machines. And you know what those mushy things in the background look like? Plushies. So my idea for this character is that he is a claw machine prodigy. And no claw machine can beat him, no matter how rigged. But one day, while showing off to his fellow claw machine enthusiasts, he loses. Because this machine is not only rigged, but it's alive and doesn't want anyone to beat him. And he is so ashamed, late at night, he comes back to the arcade or game store, wherever this arcade is. I'm thinking arcade, probably. He comes back and he tries to beat it, only to become engulfed in soul and be taken over. All the plushies start merging with him. This is more of like a transition type of art, like he's like in the beginning stages of like morphing into whatever his final form is. I have doodles of what that's gonna look like. I wanted to do like a big art at the end where I took like a basic Betty anime AI art girl and had her getting like attacked by them, but I kind of ran out of time. So maybe I'll do that later, post it on Instagram. By far the most difficult part of this art piece was the coloring. It was just really awkward, and like most AI art is generally like pretty good at stealing color palettes or whatever. This one, I don't know, it just felt kind of weird no matter what I did with it. Just really, I don't know, grungy, I guess, but not in like an intentional kind of way. So anyways, as you can see, I changed the pose up a little bit. Out of all the pieces, this is the one that is the most faithful to the original. It goes pretty wild from this point on, but I thought, you know, keep the first one sort of on theme. For his hat, like, I think he was supposed to be wearing a hoodie, but, like, it had a sweater collar and the hood didn't really connect to the shirt, so I decided to give him this beanie. And, like, one of the schmutzes on his hat kind of looked like an eye, so I decided to give his hat human lips and teeth just to make it, I don't know, an uncomfortable headdress, because that's what it looked like to me. I had a lot of fun turning all those little schmutzes into plushies. They're a little weird, but I wanted to keep them sort of uncanny, like that they're not supposed to exist, if you catch my drift. Speaking of uncanny, I've got them all trying to, like, reach for him and touch him. You see his jacket split open and there's, like, themes spreading from the plushies, like they're turning him into one. Because they are. One of my inspirations for the plushies is the Freddles from Five Nights at Freddy's. Or the Lonely Freddies, that's what they're called in the books, right? Side note, the FNAF books are freaking crazy. I haven't seen any past that one time that teenager got, like, mentally hijacked by Monty Gator and then jumped up on, like, a saw table or whatever. I don't know. I don't think they were any good past that. I don't think there were, like, many that were good before that. Yeah, got his head getting clamped on by the claw machine. Just thought that would be neat. Like, it's gonna take over his brain, which is what's happening. But yeah, that was the first AI image. I also fiddle around with some fun effects to give it a retro feel. I've been fiddling with that in a lot of art pieces lately. I think it's fun. Next up on our to-do list, we have this punk-looking chick. Now, I'm going to preface this right now, before I even dive into everything that's wrong with this. If you are not a fan of body horror, maybe, don't tune into the rest of the video, because this one gets kind of bad. And then the next one after that is potentially worse. So, just a heads up there. But yeah, this image is just all kinds of interesting. She has these weird little bun things on her head that look like dogs. And I definitely ran with that for my thing. Her hair's a little strange and just, like, first off, the dye doesn't make sense because, like, it's just a little odd. Like, have, like, the green on the loop or whatever. Just messes up. Everything's a little schmutzy. This one is a lot more consistent than the previous image. Not to state that it is entirely consistent, but it's still, you know, better. Not that that's a good thing. That's, like, a worse thing. Because, you know, more theft involved. Because poo-poo AI sticky. Yeah. Now, moving on to my rendition of this piece and the story I've concocted for this. My idea for this is that this character used to get bullied like a bunch. And so she joined a gang in order to become top dog. However, she felt it made her someone that she wasn't. She could barely recognize herself. And one day, while having an existential conversation with herself at the junkyard where her and her gang meet, she runs into something that she really ought not to have. Strange substance and some dogs, junkyard dogs, having a problem, and then they collide together and start to merge into something completely unrecognizable as human. The fact that my narration skills could use some work, I feel like I did a pretty okay job coming up with an idea for this character. I definitely diverged quite a lot from the original source material. I didn't want to just, you know, copy verbatim what I saw, you know, because then what am I doing other than just, you know, stealing AI art, which, like, yeah, I could do that, but, like, what's, you know, stealing AI art is, you know, just stealing what was stolen, like rebranding it, which isn't bad, it's just not as good, you know? Anyways, I had a lot of fun with this piece. It was really fun to like mess around with stuff, including like the anatomy specifically. I liked messing with all the little dogs and having little faces be different. Honest, like if it wasn't for the fact that this was like, you know, kind of horrific, the dog faces are like kind of cute. I'm not gonna lie, I find them very amusing. Like the last one, I had a decent amount of struggles with the color palette. It was just like on its own, this isn't like this character's color palette wasn't so bad, but like making her like fit into any sort of background was difficult because she's already like so contrasty in all of her colors that like trying to make her look good anywhere was a little difficult. But in the end, I think I came up with something that worked. I tried to frame it like she's in the middle of transforming into some horrendous dog beast thing, and someone's come into the woods and like spotted her in the middle of it happening. Maybe a night security guard or a gang member. I'm a junkyard, not woods. Overall, I'm pretty happy with how this piece came out. I love drawing little spooky things like this. I had a lot of fun making little concept sketches for this. I have a lot of concept sketches for a lot of these, which I'll probably show at the end of the video. No spoilers. But, yeah. Now, I'm not gonna use any of these characters for my story, because, you know, I feel like it would be, you know, a little hypocritical to use AI to inspire, you know, my comic. These are just, like, for funsies things I'm doing to, like, do for fun. You know, I'm not, like, profiting off of, you know, art theft. Just thought this would be a fun thing to do for fun. But yeah, that was the second piece. And also, like the last one, I've made a version where I filled with fun retro filters because it's fun. Next up, we have this very odd character sheet. I say odd because, I mean, like the first one, even at a glance, you can tell that there's a lot wrong with it. For starters, the tail being two tails within one tail, but in the one on the right, like, her entire, like, lower body, starting from her waist down to her knees, is a fishtail, which is just all kinds of bizarre. She's missing a shoe on one foot, her feet are in weird positions, the knees bent back weird on that leg, where the shoe is missing, her bow is in her arm, on the back of her shirt on the right, her hands are in weird positions, her face is all off, this thing on top of her head, this mask, got like a sword coming out of the side of her body, there's just a lot of problems with this particular image. And with problems came inspiration. Now, I am going to provide another warning at this moment in time. If you did not like the previous drawing, you will not like this one. I reached deep for this one, brought out my own personal feelings towards the most despicable creatures on this earth. Them being fish. I hate fish, and I will talk more about it in a moment. But if you do not like body horror, if you were made uncomfortable by the previous image, do not proceed. That being said, those left, we move on. Now, to continue on with what I said, I hate fish. I think fish are horrendous. If you've ever seen fish out in the wild, they have no loyalties. They have no sense of morality. They simply exist. They're like life's proper equivalent to zombies, other than that one deer disease, something wasting disease, that thing, which, you know, is scary, but unrelated, because that's a disease. This is their lives. Fish are horrible. If you ever go to, like, a Walmart fish aisle or a pet store where there's like a large case of fish and they're all just like sitting there. And then every so often one just drops, all of them with their dead eyes, and occasionally they come and nibble at their deceased brethren. Like, fish have no loyalty whatsoever. They just like eat each other, and like, if fish were human-sized and on land, like, that would be game over for humanity. They simply are forward-moving eating machines. They have no thoughts in their head. None. It's not even clear if they, like, properly feel pain, and if they do, they just have so little reaction time to freaking... I don't like fish. But you know what I do like about fish? The fact that they taste good. I like the taste of fish. I like fish. Get some fish and ranch. It's like the best thing on the planet. Only good fish is a dead fish. Well, actually, scrap that. Goldfish are kind of cool. Like, any variety of goldfish. Like, they're still scary, but at least... Or, not scary. I don't like fish. I wouldn't say I'm scared of fish, because I could punch a fish. It's not a big... If fish were human-sized, that'd be scary, but they're not. But, like, goldfish and varieties of fish that are like goldfish are pretty. I like those. I'd still, you know... If it came time for, like, the human-sized fish apocalypse, I would still side with the humans over the goldfish. Anyways, sorry for my horrendously long fish rant. As for what's actually being portrayed here, together I have two twins. I decided to take the two different images because I had two ideas and I couldn't decide on which one, so I made two girls. I decided that... Anyways, for the story I came up with for the two of them, I decided that they're two wannabe singers, and they both wanted to sing like sirens. And one day, they find some object, like a nice microphone or something, and singing in it makes them sing good. It makes them sing extra good. Like, they're so good after using it. However, after a while of using it, they start to feel like throat pain. It starts to hurt a bit and more when they sing. But since this is like so important to them, they keep going. But then eventually it gets so bad, their neck is so swollen. Eventually, they start hiding it with like scarves or whatever, you know, because it's hard to be an attractive pop star with like a fat, tumorous neck. Am I horrible for laughing at that? Anyways, and so eventually, the skin starts to tear, and out comes a fish. A fish is growing in their necks. Each one, they don't have the same kind of fish. For the girl on the ground, as you can see, she has a much larger fish, more akin to like tuna, whereas the girl on the right is more like an anchovy. Not going great, but they seem alright. They've adapted, the fish sense of lack of pain, so they aren't in too much pain at the moment. I really want to finish this, because this is mid-transformation. I have good ideas to mess with this, so I'm still probably gonna make, like, a full art piece with all the, like, fully transformed characters, but that won't be in this video. That'll be, like, some other time. Probably on Instagram. Probably as a YouTube short as well. But yeah, anyways, that was the last illustration for the video. I normally try to do 4, but due to time constraints, only had time for 3. And like with all the other illustrations, I also have a version where I fiddled with some retro filters, just because it's fun. But with that, that is the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed, and have a good day. I'm sorry if this video discussing AI wasn't very AI discussing for you. I don't know, I haven't really messed with writing scripts yet. Maybe I'll make another video like this at some point where I make a proper script discussing all the different features of AI, but I don't know. I'm more of a freeform in terms of just scripting. And by scripting, I mean there is no script. Except sometimes I'll write hello, hello on notebook paper. Get me started. Sorry if this outro sounds a little bit weird. It's later than it was. It's been like several hours. For some reason, can't heighten the voice or heighten my volume. I don't know. Anyways, I hope you have a good whatever time of life you're experiencing this. I hope you couldn't hear my chair there. And have a good time continuing to be alive. Bye.